He started a business at school and he made absolute bank. So this kid loved spicy food. So one day he brought a bunch of spices from home, and during lunch he started putting these spices into bags of chips, just testing out different flavors. He tried it. It was good. He let his friends try it. They loved it. So the next day, a bunch of people were asking him if they could make them their own bag of these seasoned chips. So he began bringing extra chips and extra seasoning to school and selling these seasoned chip bags for $2 a piece. But baby, business was booming. Demand exploded. Within a month, kids were paying $5 a bag, and he had a full operation. He would mix the spices at home, season the chips and pack them in Ziploc bags, and he would be selling them before school even started every day. And every day, he sold out. People couldn't get enough of these awesome chips. But one day, a teacher caught a group of students standing in the hallway, secretly passing around these spicy chips like it was contraband. So she shut it down, reported this to the principal, and someone gave him this kid's name. So this dude was called to the principal's office. But here's where it gets awesome. The principal thought this idea was absolutely genius. Instead of stopping him, he told the kid to turn it into a real business. The last I heard about this story was that the kid was trying to get an Instagram page started and a website. He was going to begin selling these chips outside of just school. And I hope the best for him, because man, you gotta respect the hustle. This kid is a kingpin. When this dude was in 8th grade, his school had a huge problem. Apparently, the school's lockers sucked and they kept getting jammed, which caused a lot of students to be late for class all the time because they couldn't get their lockers open. Well, this kid had a brilliant idea. He saw this as an opportunity. He realized that these lockers weren't that hard to unjam. People were just kind of stupid, he said. So he went to the janitor. Hey, so about the jammed locker situation, I know how to open them. It's not that hard. I can help students unjam their lockers in between classes. The janitor said, that sounds good, man. I'll pay you $1 for every locker you unjam. He was going to pay him $1 for every locker this kid helped fix. Now, at first, it was just a very small hustle. He was making a few bucks a day. But then he had another brilliant idea. Instead of waiting for lockers to jam, he started jamming the lockers himself. And he would do anything. He would stick an eraser inside the lock or try to jam something in between the locker frame. You know, something that was just enough to make them seem broken, but it was easy for him to fix. Well, he went crazy on this one day. And by lunchtime, tons of students were panicking because none of their lockers were open. They were all jammed. And guess who they went to for help? This kid. Since he already gained a reputation as the locker guy, he was the guy to go to. Teachers were even recommending him to students. So not only was he getting paid by the janitor for every locker that he fixed, some kids were so desperate to get their books or their lunches that they started paying him extra to get a priority fix. He was making double, if not more. And let me tell you, business was booming. This kid wasn't just solving a problem. He was also creating the problem. And that's absolutely genius. You gotta respect the hustle. This kid roasted his teacher. So this one kid's school, there was this teacher who always tried to be the cool teacher, but ended up embarrassing himself a lot. You know, he would crack jokes, roast students, act like he was one of the kids. Most times, students just ignored it. But then one day, this happened. Okay, class, we're gonna start the review for the test on Friday, but I'll be sure to explain it slowly so Liam can understand it. What? Oh, come on, man, you gotta fight back. Hit me with something, show me your personality. Maybe then you'll pass the test. Liam just sighs, leans back in his chair and says, all right, Mr. Thomas, you asked for it. Why don't you finally admit that this is not the life you wanted? Maybe that's why your wife left you, your kids hate you, and you're stuck here trying to impress a bunch of 14-year-olds you mayonnaise-loving Three businesses kids ran in their school. One, at this person's middle school, there was a kid that sold dumb lollipops. Well, this kid would just carry them around in a shopping bag at school and sell them for $0.25 each. He kept that business going for a pretty long time and he made like $200. Not bad for a kid. Number two, this high school made homemade cookies. She would bring them to school and charge people $1 a cookie. Yes, business was booming. People loved these cookies. Apparently, she was a pretty good baker, but the school didn't like this, so they said that she could not sell cookies to people anymore. But these cookies were so dang good that they found a loophole. Students would give her money for no reason, and then she, the next day, would give them cookies for no reason. Feel me? And she kept that business going throughout her entire high school career. And lastly, at this one elementary school, there was a kid that wanted to make a couple extra dollars for ice cream. So one morning, she went to her grandma's bedroom and stole a bunch of her grandma's jewelry. She took that jewelry to school, and during recess that day on the playground, she would sell her grandma's jewelry. Now obviously, obviously these kids didn't have a lot of money. So for example, she sold her grandma's engagement ring for 50 cents. Eventually, these teachers saw what was going on and put a stop to this immediately. They tried to get back all of this grandma's jewelry. Obviously, the grandma wasn't too happy, but that kid had quite the entrepreneurial spirit. Gotta respect the hustle. The school printer hustle. One of my subscribers sent in this story about a business he ran in school. So when this kid was in 9th grade, his school charged 10 cents per page to print anything from the library computers. Now, the library had some of the only printers in the entire school, and nobody carried cash or change on them, so this was a real pain in their ass. And the school system would not take digital payments, so kids were constantly begging teachers to print stuff for them, which the teachers thought was annoying. Well, one day, this kid noticed a printer sitting in the corner of one of the unused computer labs, unplugged. It was just sitting there collecting dust. So at the end of the day, he went to that computer lab, grabbed the printer, and tried to get out of the school as fast as he possibly could. He made it. He went home and he had the printer with him. He spent 20 bucks on ink for that specific printer. He then got a big duffel bag and set the printer up in his duffel bag. The next day, he started offering his own printing service. But unlike the school, this kid was gonna take digital payments. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, you name it. He even took lunch trades. He printed it all. Homework, essays, last-minute assignments, nothing was off limits. At first, he just charged 5 cents per page to print. He wanted to undercut the school to get the business, but once word started to spread, it didn't matter. People were willing to pay up to 50 cents per page, just because it was convenient. Some teachers who didn't have printers in their classroom and hated using the library printers started paying him as well to print out worksheets for their class. And bingo! By the end of the semester, he had so much business that he had to bring a second backpack to carry all the printer paper in. This wasn't just a side hustle. This was a full-blown underground print shop. Genius. I'm addicted to making money at school, and one morning, I had an idea. On my bike ride to school, I stopped into the local Target, and I bought a bunch of packs of socks. Then at school that day, I waited until it was gym class. I didn't go to class. Instead, when gym class was over, I waited outside the doors of the locker room as the students came in to change into their normal clothes. Well, I cracked open the door a little bit, and I peeked. Once all of their shoes were off and they were only in their socks, I poured a bucket of water on the floor, getting everybody's socks soaking wet. I got my brand new packet of socks, then I went in. What's wrong, guys? I don't know, man. A bunch of water came in here. All of our socks are soaking wet. This sucks. Oh, man, that's really unfortunate. I don't even know what I'm going to do now. This is going to suck for the rest of the day. I actually have brand new socks right here in this duffel bag. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'll take some socks. Yeah, me too. And want some socks, too. Oh, not so fast, men. It's $2 per sock. $2 for a pair of socks? Oh, no. I think you heard me wrong. $2 per sock. $4 per pair. Yeah, no, I'm not paying that. Enjoy the rest of the day with your squishy sock feet. Wait. Here's 4. That's what I thought. Today's gonna be a good day. This school prank lasted for 2 years. It all began at this high school when a single rubber duck appeared in the school's water fountain. And nobody thought much of it. It was just a random duck. Who cares? Until the next day, 2 ducks. Then 4, then 10. By the end of that week, there was rubber ducks appearing in every sink, every toilet, and even in students' lockers. Teachers were losing their minds. The principal, she was done. She kept saying on the intercom, "Whoever's responsible for the ducks, speak up now, please." Silence. Nobody confessed. So they gave up. They figured it would eventually sizzle out. But here's the thing, it never stopped. For 2 years, rubber ducks would randomly appear in the craziest of places. Ceiling tiles, inside the vending machines, somehow. One duck even appeared in the vice principal's car. It became a legend till this senior year. It was graduation. The principal was giving her speech when suddenly a banner dropped down. What was on the banner? A single rubber duck. This kid walked to the front of the stage and said, "It was me. It was always me." This is awesome. This person said that when he was in high school, he was applying to colleges, and there was one college that he really wanted to go to. So he was at his counselor's office, and they were talking about this. Yeah, so I really want to go to that school, Steven, and I think I can do it. Steven, you're not getting into the school, man. Steven was pissed. He went to the principal's office and told the principal the situation. Yeah, so Mr. Johnson just completely, disregarded me and shut me down so that there's no way I'm getting into that school. Well, Steven, he has a point. I mean, look at the school and look at you. Apply to a state school, you know? Come Go. This made Steven even more mad. So what did he do? He went home. He sat down at his computer and he began writing his college essay. He went to town. He was writing. He was thinking. His brainstorming. Thoughts were just spurting out of everywhere. He was done. He sent it off to that school that he really wanted to go to, and he waited. Well, time passed, and suddenly there was a big packet in his mailbox. He goes inside and he opens it. Accepted. I got in. I got in. He got into the school. Oh my God, he was so freaking excited. Well, turns out this school was way too much money and he could not afford it, so he ended up not going to school, but he made copies of the acceptance letter and he taped it to the door of his counselor and the principal. One for you. One for you. This is a true story. This is the third assembly I've had to call for this. I am done. So, let's back up. What was that assembly for? Well, the person that shared this story said that all throughout middle school, all 3 years, there was a kid that would tuck unwrapped Hostess zingers inside of every single toilet paper dispenser in the school, every single day. So every day, whoever was lucky enough to be the first person to use that toilet paper would have an unwrapped Hostess zinger fall into their hands. What the heck? Now, like I said, this was a mystery for 3 years, which now brings us to the assembly. I want to know right now, please, give yourself up. And finally, the kid did. He figured it was time to put this all to rest. It's been me the whole time. This kid ran a school candy empire. When this dude was in middle school, he realized something. The school cafeteria charged way too much money for snacks. So he decided to start his own business. He went to the dollar store, bought a huge bag of candy for cheap, and started selling them at school. And let me tell you, this is a great idea. I did this when I was in school. At first, he sold candy bars for $1 each. You know, making small profits here and there. But the more kids that started buying from him and the more product he was buying himself, he raised his prices. $3 for Snickers, $5 for a bag of Sour Patch Kids. People were paying and business was booming. He ran this candy empire for a while. He even had employees that would sell the product in different hallways at the school. But one day, the lunch lady saw him selling these snacks during lunch, and she got mad. I wonder if it's because kids weren't buying their snacks anymore, they were buying this dude's candy. So she turned him into the principal, and everything was shut down. In total, this kid made about $2,000. Now this is a school business. When this kid was in middle school, he had an idea. So his school banned energy drinks, but kids still wanted them really bad. So he decided to start his secret business. He would bring in cans of energy drinks hidden in his backpack, and he would sell them for $5 a piece. Now at first, it was just a few of his friends buying from him. But word got out, and suddenly everybody wanted to buy from him. Now, business was immediately booming, and because the school banned energy drinks, and he was the only one selling them, he raised his prices to $10 a can, and people still bought them. For months and months, he ran this operation, and he never got caught. He even had a system. He would take orders in the morning, and he would make secret drop-offs in between classes. But one day, a gym teacher saw him hand an energy drink to another student and take money from him. Instead of shutting this kid down and turning him in, all he said was, "Be careful." So he kept going. Then, one day, the principal got involved. A teacher saw a kid chugging an energy drink in the hallway, so the teacher inquired, and that kid snitched. The principal pulled this kid into the office, and just like that, the business was shut down. But in total, he made over $7,000. You gotta respect the hustle. So, at this one middle school, they had a rule that was no talking before class. The rule was, as soon as you stepped into the classroom, you had to be completely silent until the lesson started. No whispering, no greeting, nothing. Now, at first, this sounds kinda reasonable, right? Well, there was this one teacher that took this rule completely too far. In that class, one time, a kid sneezed and said, "Excuse me." He got a detention. Another kid dropped his pencil, his friend picked it up and said, "Here." That kid also got a detention. And one time, the teacher wasn't even in the room yet and the kid coughed too loud that she heard it in the hallway, boom, detention. And if the teacher walked in and somebody was actually having a full-blown conversation, they wouldn't just get in trouble, the entire class would. Like, I'm sorry, is this school or solitary confinement? That's messed up. This kid exposed his own teacher, but then it backfired. Let's call this kid Jake. And recently, Jake had been noticing something strange. The star quarterback, let's call him Ryan, never studied, never did his homework, but he managed to get perfect scores on every test. Well, one day, Jake was staying after class a little bit to ask the teacher a question when he noticed something. The teacher hands Ryan a piece of paper and says, "Memorize these." That's when Jake realizes the teacher is giving him the answers to the test. Well, he thought. No wonder he keeps getting perfect scores. The teacher is helping him cheat. The teacher's helping him remain on the football team. Instead of snitching, Jake gets smart. He starts watching Ryan, catches him in the library, memorizing stuff from the exact paper the teacher gave him. Jake slowly walks behind Ryan and secretly takes a picture of the paper. Then on test day, he takes a picture of his test. The answer sheet that Ryan was memorizing matches exactly to the test they received. He got it. Proof. The teacher and Ryan were caught. Well, instead of turning this into the principal or whatever, he showed the teacher. He blackmailed her. Hey, yeah, see this? Look familiar? And see this? That's our test from today. The exact same. I know what you're doing. Oh my god. Oh, no. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna start giving me the answers to every test. Well, I'm taking these pictures and I'm telling the school board, and you're fired. Okay. That's blackmail, baby. Now Jake starts getting perfect scores on every single test. But this all came crumbling down. Apparently, another student in the class had stayed behind and heard Jake tell the teacher this. That student went to the principal. What happened? Well, the teacher was fired, Ryan was benched and never played football again, and Jake, he got suspended. When this guy was a kid, he went to a private school, and that school had a bunch of strict, stupid rules. No phones were allowed at all, you had to wear a uniform every day, and if you were ever caught with coffee or energy drinks, you would be sent to the principal's office, and your parents would have to come pick you up. There was a locker right next to his that nobody used. He bought 5 cases of Monster and Red Bull energy drinks, and he would store them in that extra locker. He would sell those energy drinks to students for $3 a pop. And business was absolutely booming. Just 3 weeks after he started this business and $400 in profit later, he was caught and he was suspended for 2 days. He laid low for a few months, but after a while, the need for money in business started coming back. So he started it back up again. But this time, he was very careful. In total, he made $1,300. He bought himself a motorcycle. Hey Kyle. What, Chad? Nice mustard on your shirt, you frickin' slob. Whatever, man. At least I didn't fail English 3 times. Good story, man. But in what chapter do you shut up? That was good, right? What was that, man? I could eat a can of alphabet soup and poop out a better comeback than that. In fact, stay there. I'll be right back. Perfect. Hey Chad, what? Look. How did he do that? When this kid was 10 years old, he was at the grocery store with his mom. He was messing around in the candy aisle when he decided to steal some gum. He thought to himself, I'm a criminal mastermind. When him and his mom got to the checkout, his mom paid for everything except the pack of gum in her son's pocket. As soon as they walked outside, he pulled out the gum and started chewing it. His mom turned around. Where did you get that? Well, instead of admitting he stole it, he panicked and he said, that man gave it to me and he told me to get in his car. That man? Mm-hmm. The man was standing by the front of the store. The mom turned around and stormed to the store's entrance. She saw one of the store's employees. Excuse me, this man right here gave my son candy and told him to get in his car. What? Him? Wait, what? Wait, no, I didn't. We need to call security now. You stay there. What? I didn't do anything. Within minutes, store employees were calling the police. This man was in hot water, but he didn't do anything wrong. The kid just stood there watching, chewing his gum.
Hands behind your back. I said hands behind your back.
Well, we all knew this would happen. This is Barry, and when his family hadn't heard from Barry in a few weeks, they called the police to do a welfare check on him. And what they found was absolutely brutal. When they got to Barry's house, the door was unlocked, so they went in. They found Barry lying in his bed in a pool of blood with a stab wound to his stomach. They noticed a blood trail, so they followed the blood trail to the kitchen. And on the counter were 2 frozen burger patties with a piece of paper stuck in the middle. Next to the patties was a knife with blood on it. Well, turns out a few months prior to this, Barry had suffered a stroke, which caused him to have limited mobility. So on the day of his passing, Barry must have been trying to separate these burger patties, as we all have at one moment. Banging them on the counter, trying to get that knife in there, trying to separate those patties, but he must have slipped, and that knife must have went right into his stomach. He accidentally stabbed himself. Freaked out, he pulled the knife out, put it on the counter, went to his room where his phone was, sat on his bed, and tried to phone the police. He didn't make it. Rest in peace, Barry. The locker room snack dealer. In high school, this kid noticed something. After their gym class, everyone was starving. But the vending machines were always broken and the cafeteria was in the other end of the school. And that's when he saw his opportunity. He went to Costco and bought tons of bulk snacks. Chips, candy, granola bars, you name it. Then he started selling them straight out of his gym locker. The first day he began doing this, everyone was hyped. Oh my gosh, this kid's selling food for us. We're starving every day. This is perfect. After gym class every day, kids would be lining up at his locker to buy some of his snacks. It was a genius business, truly. He was making $50 a day just from selling these snacks. You know, things did get a little bit risky. One day, a teacher walked into the locker room and saw what was going on, and he said, "Hey, you better not be doing what I think you're doing." Kid was scared. He was like, But the teacher was like, "Just kidding." Handed the kid a $5 bill and bought snacks himself. What a legend. That kid ran a snack business all year. And he made over $1,500. You gotta respect the hustle. No one's buying my bags of chips. I bought so much to sell at school today, but I haven't sold one. Bro, it's because everyone goes to the vending machine. Are your chips cheaper than the vending machine? No, man, they're more expensive. I'm trying to make bank. Well, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Fine, man. Hold on. I have an idea. Hello, vending machine, my enemy. Shut your mouth. I'm gonna unplug you. Oh, I'm gonna unplug you. And now I wait.
Excuse me, I just want to get to the vending machine.
Unfortunately, it's out of order. It's not working.
Oh, really? I wanted some barbecue chips so bad.
You're in luck today. I actually have a bag full of chips for sale. $4.
$4? The vending machine's only $2.
Well, the vending machine isn't working, is it?
Fine, I'll take them. Here.
And here you go. Tell your friends. Today's gonna be a good day.
Okay, so I have the bulldog ramen, but this time it's 2 times spicy. So I thought this one was spicy, but this one looks crazy.
Now we're gonna boil some water. Now that it's boiling, we put this into the boiling for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes, now we drain the water. Now it says to add the 2 times spicy hot sauce. Then you add, last step is the pepper flakes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I think if you like spicy stuff, this is gonna be awesome for you. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it, so I'm gonna take one bite. Let's see. Delicious, but very, very spicy.
When this person was 14 years old, he really wanted to be a dog, but obviously he couldn't. So one day, when he was home alone, he decided he was gonna try to drink and eat like a dog. So he put Fanta in a bowl and Cheerios in another bowl. He then put them on the bedroom floor. He got down on his hands and knees and began licking the Fanta and eating the Cheerios as if he was a dog. After that, he used his back right leg to scratch his ear as if a dog would. He said he was enjoying himself. He said he was having a great time. But little did he know his dad was in the doorway this entire time watching him do this crazy stuff. His dad looked at him horrified. Dad, no. His dad walked away and he never mentioned it ever again. Crazy things that happened at a friend's house. When this kid was in middle school, one night he was having dinner at his friend's house with his friend's family. The dinner went well. The food was really good. But once everyone was done eating, the mom did something kind of repulsive. She took everyone's plates and put them on the floor. She then called the family dog into the kitchen and had the dog lick all of those plates clean. The mom then put those plates that the dog just licked clean back into the cupboard. And everyone in that family acted like it was completely normal. He said he was disgusted and he threw up that night because he was probably eating his food off of a dog-licked plate. He never went to that house ever again. This principal had the weirdest rule. Students at this high school were not allowed to wear hoodies around their waists. You know, what you do when you're too hot in your hoodie, so you just tie it around your waist, go about your day. Well, this was an actual rule, and it was in the school handbook. One day, one student asked the principal, "Hey, so just curious, why aren't we allowed to tie our hoodies around our waists?" "Oh, it's because when people do that, it makes them look like farmers. And, I don't like farmers that much." The principal was dead serious, and I don't really understand how it made people look like farmers. That's dumb. I like having a clean house, but I hate having to wrap the vacuum cord like it's a freaking fire hose, so I got this vacuum. It's cordless, it's on your wall, and it works so well. Look at how nice it cleans the floor here. There's a light too, so you can see the kind of dirt and dust specks. Look at that. Beautiful job, and when you're done, you just put it right back up. No cord, no folding, it's perfect. This mom is the worst. When this kid was in middle school, his mom one day forced him to give all of his Pokemon cards to his cousins. These weren't just regular Pokemon cards. These were 1999 Pokemon cards with a few first edition holographics. So imagine that today. How much money would that be? A crap ton. Well, 3 weeks after he was forced to give his cousins these cards, he was at their house for a birthday party and he wanted to check on those cards himself. He went into their room and looked around. That's when he saw a box, and in that box were the Pokemon cards. Torn up, spit on, chewed up, these cards were completely destroyed. He said he never forgave his mom for that. And recently, he has shown his mom how much those cards could have gone for. And needless to say, she knows how bad she messed up.
So teachers are starting to realize that kids are using ChatGPT. There's a website called Quillbot, which you'll go here and get the paper. Then you take it from there, put it on Quillbot. Then Quillbot makes it seem like you wrote it, so the school cannot track.
Not anymore. Quillbot is detectable, as you can see right here. I mean, this is the proof. Quillbot does not work anymore, but there is a solution. Use this tool instead to beat Turnitin and GPT-0, and it's completely free. It's called Grubby AI, and it's an incredibly effective AI text humanizer that is 100% undetectable by AI detectors. School's right around the corner, and I think this thing's gonna save your life. So I've had this dream multiple times in the past week or so, and I wrote it down. I'm running around this large, futuristic city. I knew that there was a creepy and strange man that was chasing me and my friends. He would get close, and then we would run to another place and hide. He never caught up to us, but he was always very close. I woke up as he was about to find us. Weird dream, but I wanted to know what it meant. So I did some digging and I found this app called Yoru X, and they actually interpret your dreams for you. So I got it, I copied the dream that I wrote down, and I pasted it inside their app. And they gave me a dream interpretation. Okay, that actually makes perfect sense. Pretty thorough interpretation as well. I like this. The app's called Yoru X. If you have any crazy dreams, try it out and leave your dream interpretations in the comments. I want to hear them. Morning, sweetie. How'd you sleep? Well, I had a dream that something terrible was going to happen at the school dance on Friday. Well, that's just a nightmare, baby. Eat your yogurt. I put pineapple in there. Oh, yummy pineapple. I'm actually not hungry, Mom. I'm going to school. Morning, bro. What's up, man? Nothing, dude. Who's that? Oh, that's Greg and Marissa. They're a year ahead of us. Oh, okay. You good, bro? I'm going to class. So this is going to be a really easy way for you to do this equation. It's 7 plus pineapple is 16 plus pineapple is 40. Johnny! You will die on Friday. What did you just say? No sleeping in my class. Pay attention. I gotta go. Something horrible is gonna happen on Friday. Hey, come with us. We'll explain everything. What the? This device can save your computer and other things from power cuts. It's called the Golden Mate. You plug it into the wall and there's 4 outlets on the back right here. You can then plug in stuff like your computer or your Wi-Fi router, and if the power ever goes out, this thing takes over, allowing you to quickly save and safely shut down everything without hurting your device or losing stuff. All right, let me show you. So I have my computer plugged into the Golden Mate, and the Golden Mate is plugged into the wall. All right, the Golden Mate is on, my computer is on, but watch what happens when I unplug the Golden Mate itself. Like I said, it's still running, and it's going to take care of your equipment while you safely shut it down and save your files and whatnot. This thing is great. Plus, it looks awesome. This thing would also be amazing for like medical equipment. Say you have some important medical equipment and the power goes out, that stuff would keep running while you figure out your next move. Click that cart right now to get your very own Golden Mate and keep your devices protected. I promise it's worth it. This one middle school teacher said that she had a class pet, a goldfish, that she loved very much. Well, one morning she got to school and she went to go feed her fish. All right, Felipe, time for breakfast. Felipe? Felipe? The fish was gone. Nowhere to be seen. The tank was empty. That entire day, she was incredibly sad. She announced to her class, "Hello class, this morning I walked into the classroom to feed Felipe, and he is no longer in the tank. I have no idea where he is. I don't want to point any fingers, but I didn't move him, so that means one of you had to have taken my fish." No one said anything, until later that night she was sitting at home when she got a text from one of her students. It was a screen recording of a Snapchat story. The Snapchat story showed a kid putting Felipe the class fish into a water bottle, and then giving that water bottle with Felipe inside of it to a random person on the street. Oh my God. She never saw Felipe again, and that kid was suspended. Ketchup on chicken tender day is an absolute necessity, and my school has plenty of ketchup packets, especially on chicken tender day. Well, I really needed to make some money to pay for that new Skibbity toilet plushie to add to my collection. Oh yeah. So on chicken tender day, I went into the cafeteria right before lunch, and I took every single ketchup packet and shoved them into my backpack. Then I stood by the ketchup table holding a large ketchup bottle of my own. My plan was in full effect.
Oh my gosh, where's all the ketchup? I can't have my chicken tenders without ketchup.
Yeah, it turns out the school's all out of ketchup today.
Aw, man.
I actually have a full bottle of ketchup right here. I can give you a few squirts.
Oh my God, amazing. Thank you so much.
That'll be $1 for one squirt.
$1 per squirt? The school's ketchup's free.
Well, the school doesn't have any ketchup right now, do they?
Fine, I'll take it. Here's $1.
Thank you. Hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Tell your friends. All right, who's next? Today's gonna be a good day. One day at this one high school, the science class was dissecting sheep brains as a part of a science lab. Well, as the students were cutting up bits and pieces of the sheep's brain, I guess one of the kids had a pretty crazy idea. He took a few pieces of the sheep brain and put them in his pocket. And that day during lunch, he put pieces of sheep brain in the self-serve ranch bowls. So when the students went to serve themselves ranch, a few of them would get brain on their plate. Pizza day, ranch with pizza, ranch with pizza. Oh my God! At first, obviously, no one knew it was sheep's brain. They thought it was a human brain. The rest of that day was absolute chaos. 5 disgusting school lunches. Up first, we have a chili dog type lunch. And this one's not horrible, but it definitely does not look very appetizing. Up next was from a school that was serving chicken sandwiches one day. And this was the chicken sandwich that they were serving. Next, this is a meatloaf meal, I think. Is that meatloaf? I don't really know. It's definitely a super weird thing to serve at school lunch. All right, this next school was serving pizza and mozzarella sticks one day. And here is a picture of that lunch. The pizza doesn't look cooked, the mozzarella sticks look nasty, and what are those? Garbanzo beans? Disgusting. And last but not least, another school lunch pizza, but this one was completely molded. Whoever served this to students should be fired.
আপনি যে কি করেন তাতে কোনো কমন সেন্স নেই আমার বাসায় কিছু সবাই দেখে ফেলে
রাত 10টায় আমি ফোন দিব আর একবারের বেশি যদি রিং হয় মামা মালটা তো জোস সরি ভাবি তুই পারবি দেখ কিভাবে কই সেটিং মিটিং নাই তো সেটিং মানে বুঝো না পেন্টিরিতি ও তো আমাদের ভাবি হয় ওই হিসাবে আমাদের বিয়ে হিসাব আপনি
আচ্ছা দাঁড়া ওয়েট কর আমাকে একটু ভাবতে দে দেখি কি করা যায় দোস্ত তুই থাক আমি যাই আমি থাকবো মানে তুই থাক দোস্ত
রক্ত লাগবে রে রক্ত আসবো না মানে হ্যাঁ তাই তো শুনলাম আসবো না ঠিক আছে দেখতেছি ব্যাপারটা যাও
কি রে তুই কোচিং এ যাস না কেন দোস্ত আমি কোচিং এ কিভাবে যাব বল? এই গুন্ডাটা যে আমাকে ডিস্টার্ব করে, তুই দেখতেই তো পারছস, ডেইলি আমার পিছনে লাগে থাকে।
আমার ভালোবাসার গল্পটা অপূর্ণ রয়ে গেল।
গলবে, পাখির মন গলবে, এমন মন্ত্র দেব।
এভাবে রাস্তাঘাটে একটা মেয়েকে উত্তক্ত করে আর নিজের গায়ে রক্ত দিয়ে
হ্যালো,
হেই হোয়াটস আপ প্র্যাঙ্ক ম্যান।
কে?
একটু হলেই তো তোমার ফোন হাওয়া হয়ে যেত।
তুই তোর ফোন আর কোনোদিন পাবি না।
কেন?
তোর বাবা তো তোর ফোনটাকে একদম আছাড় দিয়ে ভেঙে শেষ, এমনকি পানিতে চুবাইছে।
আউট অফ কিউরিয়াসিটি হয়তো দেখা করব, বাট আই এম নট দ্যাট মাচ ইজি, অলওয়েজ রিমেম্বার।
আজকে যদি তারা না থাকতো আজকে তোর দিতাম একদম। এই খালি স্কার্টেন গার্ডেন।
এই যে আপু, এসব গার্ডেন ফার্ডেন যায় না, আমার ভাই ব্রাদাররা আছে, আপনার একদম কামড়ায় দিবে। না 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 ব্রো, এই যে আপনার ফোন প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল ব্রো, চিল চিল চিল। রাকিব ভাই, আপনি এসআই রাকিব ভাই না? আপনার কথা আমি অনেক শুনছি। আপনি কিন্তু মানে বুঝের লোক। টেজে তোলেন।
এই হোসেন আলী ক্যামেরা আগেই কইছিলাম আমার বস ফেমাস। হ্যাঁ 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 ভাই একটু যদি ধরতে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ শিওর।
তো কিভাবে যে কনফার্ম হয়?
এটা তো এদিকে না, 3 নাম্বার গেট ওইদিকে, শঙ্কর গলি বোধহয় গেটের বাইরে। আপনি ভুল আসছেন, জান।
ভুল আসছে, কিন্তু আমি কি চিনতে পারবো?
ও আচ্ছা, আপনি দ্যাট বোরখা গার্ল।
চিনতে পেরেছো তাহলে না?
আই লাইক গুড গার্লস। ফলো করতে ফলো কর, যা। ইফতে কই যায় দেখবি, যা। সারা জীবনে প্রথম কাউরে প্র্যাঙ্ক করতে যায়, নিজেই আজকে প্র্যাঙ্ক হয়ে গেল।
মুনিয়া, তুমি আমাকে বলেছো যে তুমি তোমার কোনো বয়ফ্রেন্ড নাই।
না না, বয়ফ্রেন্ড না, আমি ওনার বয়ফ্রেন্ড, আমি ওর ফিয়ান্সে। ওর সাথে আমার বিয়ে নেক্সট।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
আমার জন্য?
এটা তোমার জন্য, একটা নতুন ফোন দিলাম।
এই জন্য তাহলে তোমরা এতক্ষণ নাটক করছো?
নাটক না, তোমার ফোনটা পুরনো হয়ে গেছে।
কেন
নতুন ফোন।
আমরা প্র্যাঙ্ক করতে পারি না?
একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট কথা ছিল তোমার সাথে। এমন করলে কেমন হয় যদি এই এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট জার্নিতে আমি জয়েন করি তোমার সাথে?
আরে বেঞ্চ সাহেব, নতুন নতুন সম্বন্ধ তো তাই চিনতে পারেন নাই। ওই যে আপনার বান্ধবী তুলি আছে না?
আপনি যে কি করে তাতে কোনো কনসেন্স নেই, আমার বাসায় যদি সবাই দেখে ফেলে।
রাত 10টায় আমি ফোন দিব, আর একবারের বেশি যদি রিং হয়। মামা মালটা তো জোস। সরি 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 ভাবি, তুই পারবি। দেখ কিভাবে কই। সেটিং মেটিং নাই তো? সেটিং মানে বুঝো না, পেন্টিরিতি।
সবে ইন্টার সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে পড়ি।
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে আমার ক্লাস 9 এর পোলাবেনও প্রেম করে। মামা মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি। আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু।
শুনেন বেন সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু জিসান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে শুনুন।
মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি। ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি। তাহলে কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে যাবে। তুই রবিল নামে সুন্দর একটা রিক্সা ডাক।
ভাবি চিনিটা আমার বন্ধু জিসান দিচ্ছে, প্লিজ ভাবি আপনি একটু নেন, প্লিজ ভাবি।
দেখেন ভাবি, কালকে সারা রাত তোমার আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
সারা রাত? তাহলে আপনি শুনুন আপনার ভালোবাসার মানুষের অতীত বর্তমান। পাগল কোন একদম ঠিক হয়, ওনার ব্যথা লাগে নাই?
ব্যথা তো বেশি তুলবেন।
তুহিনের ব্যথা লাগছে মানে?
বন্ধু তুই চিন্তা করিস না রে, ভাবির মন ঠিকই গলে যাবে। ভাবির মন তো গলবে, কিন্তু